Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to another TEW2020 video, again with Impact Wrestling, I believe episode 31. So nearly a third on the way to the big 100. We're now moving on towards our next pay-per-view, the one that we've got for June. I had a look through Wikipedia. I tend to try and keep them historically relevant. A lot of the June events were usually Slammiversaries, although to the end of the obviously TNA to the Impact life cycle, it kind of moved towards July, so I'm going to stick to that. So Slammiversary will be next month. What we're going to look to do is, because I'm a bit of a Pokemon nerd, if you go to Slammiversary, it's all about Victory Road. So we'll have it as Impact Wrestling Victory Road. So Victory Road will come in and do the June pay-per-view. Slammiversary, I'll work on a couple, and then we'll obviously get Bound for Glory in October. So again, over the course of the tapings, we are going to look to build that card over a couple of weeks, so you won't necessarily get all the feuds going off in this show. It'll be gradual. And remember, we have to rotate our wrestlers because we do want them to not be fatigued. Speaking of that, I'm hoping to change the tapings soon. We are increasing attendances. We're approximately 500, closing in 600. I still want to go with that 1,000 fans per show before we do go to like weekly tapings again. But the sooner we can do that, I think storylines will flow a hell of a lot better. But if anything, we have to utilise what we've got just now, and that's given a lot of people more opportunities because of the rotation policy that we've got going. So we'll crack on with the first of this week's tapings, or tonight's tapings. They're all in one show, and yeah, hopefully you enjoy what we've got in store for you. So as always, as we've hit it, thanks for tuning in, it's very much appreciated. Remember, a variety of places you can check out other content of other people. Fantasy Bookers subreddit, TWDB is great for your resources, and of course the official Grey Dog software forums. We've got Dynasty tabs, a great mod community on there. Everything you need to enjoy the TW experience. And of course, you're on Fantasy Bookers. It's not just TW, you've got some old school EWR and a lot of the newer games that are coming out from other guys that are giving Ryland a bit of competition. So check them out. Might find something you enjoy. But without further ado, let's crack on with this week's episode. So we're in the loft, centre stage, and I decided to start the show with the champion, the Impact World Champion Matt Cardona, having a few words. He's interrupted by his long-term friend Brian Myers. The 47th segment for this one, Cardona looking good. What I decided to do here was kind of have an angle where again Cardona says, great to get the victory over EC3 on Friday night, but needs to look forward, needs to prove he's still always ready and want to put the belt up at all times. His close friend Brian Myers comes out, he says, well, you've given all these guys an opportunity, what about your best friend for God how many years? Got a bloody podcast together and you're not giving me an opportunity. Sir Cardona says, alright then, I'm always ready, let's go, let's do this. Impact World Championship on the line, opening contest, Cardona versus Brian Myers, and we have a decent matchup. We saw Mark Cardona defeat Brian Myers in 14-20 by pinfall with a Borowski boot. Matt Cardona makes the fourth defence of the Impact World Championship. So a 52, a good matchup there. Both guys with great chemistry. I really want to push forward with Matt Cardona, but I feel like I really want him to continually prove that he's good enough. And I think that's the storyline we're kind of writing here, is people continually question him. It's like, alright, well if you're giving out these opportunities, you're claiming to be always ready, then right, give me a chance and I'll prove that I'm better than you. So good win for Matt there, as yeah, he continues to defend his World Championship. We then had a rematch from the pay-per-view. It was a decent matchup that saw the team of Rich Swann and Willie Mack defeat John Silver and Alex Reynolds in 8:36 when Rich Swann pinned John Silver with a chicken fried driver. Another great performance there. I can't really grumble with a 51. Rich Swann nailing it with a 57, and Alex Reynolds was off his game here. So again, another victory for Swann and Willie Mack. But when you have a rematch like this, you need consequences, you need continuity, and that we have with other Dark Order members, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, jumping into the ring, and they beat down Rich Swann and Willie Mack. So really just trying to make sure we've got the best tag team division in the world, and adding as I say, Swann and Mack to that just now should hopefully enhance that. But a beatdown from Uno and Grayson shows that the Dark Order have more than one tag team in Impact Wrestling, and they are willing to do what they can. Next up, we had a decent matchup that saw Chad Betts defeat enhancement talent Owen Knight in 8.13 with the Grand Amplitude. This was a segment rating of a 48, Betts with a 60, Knight with a 25. Just continuing to get the overness and momentum going of Chad Betts as he picks up another impressive victory. This leads to Ace Austin coming out and just saying that Betts got lucky with his victory, and that he says he's going to make his life a living hell. He's going to avenge that loss because nobody gets the better of Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. So a 55, the performance of Ace Austin was good. I want to try and extend a few feuds to 2-3 months, and I feel like this is a programme that has massive potential to its two guys that are going to be with the company for a long time, unless they get pinched by bigger companies. But yeah, these are two cornerstones of the company that are really hoping can do big things in the future. Then had Sami Callihan cut a promo on Pentagon Jr. Obviously he was completely ambushed after his match with Pentagon, before we had obviously Ray Phoenix come in and make the save, or Phoenix as he's known here. Sami basically says he knows obviously what kind of sick individual that Pentagon Jr. is, but he doesn't want Phoenix and Pentagon, and they're kind of, he doesn't really trust both of them considering they're obviously brothers, and he doesn't want it to turn into a 2-on-1 assault. And that was a 51. We then had Larry D versus Chris Hero, of course the teacher, and it was about a decent reaction from the crowd, subpar wrestling. Chris Hero picks up the win on Larry D in 7.06 with the Emerald Elbow. Got to give him his first victory in the company, got to put it over a more enhancement talent. Chris Hero picks up the win with a 43 rated match. After the matchup, as I decide to throw my mouse away, Chris Hero just cuts a promo on Larry D, and it's kind of like contradiction, it's kind of condescending, sorry. He basically just tells Larry D, you done this wrong, properly like a kind of in-your-face coach is the kind of role we're playing with Chris Hero, but he's really just beaten down verbally Larry D, saying, oh, your cardio could be a bit better, and it's a 26, but that's the way we're going with Chris Hero. We had the Knockouts Tag Team Champions in action, and it was a poor matchup that saw Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan, I will change them to their actual tag name eventually, defeat Team C-Stars the Champs in 8.20 in a non-title matchup when Kiera Hogan pinned Ashley Vox. So a 36 here. Obviously we're hoping to bring real depth into our Knockouts division now, which hopefully will see them have a thriving tag division. And a nice upset victory. I think this might be one of the first ones of the save for Tasha and Kiera. We then had a hype package, and again just promoting the two Joshi stars, the first of many that will make their way to Impact Wrestling. And Maki Itoh and Dash Chizako are hyped up here in an 8 rated segment. Obviously to get them some overness, and Maki Itoh will be in action tonight. She did have a bit of an injury, but I really wanted to give her a straight off the bat win to work through. Poor matchup as Maki Itoh defeated Kimberly in 8.21 by pinfall with a DDT. So the segment was a 35, Itoh with 28, Kimberly with 37. Debuted the Idol gimmick, which was great, obviously slowed down by her injury. Really good to see she's got a strong connection with the young female demographic, which will hopefully boost her. I do want to say as well, the time of recording, because obviously I do record a lot in advance so I can properly get some continuity of my booking. I do not know a lot about many Joshis. Literally all I've saw from Maki Itoh is the announcement of the AEW Women's Tournament and people being hyped about her. And obviously I watched a few videos and went, I can see why there's hype. I don't know anything, so if the characters are a bit off, I apologise, but I tend to use TEW as a lot of my learning curve. So we've seen it before over the years. When I was educating myself on Nakamura, that's why he had some questionable booking and old saves back in the day in TW13. You will get that with wrestlers that I'm maybe not too familiar with. Well, I do love wrestling and I do love TW. Time does mean it is mostly the major leagues that I see, and I usually am a bit late to the party on some of the more breaking through talents, so I apologise for that, but I have a lot of things I have an interest in and it can take up a lot of time. Thank you, football. It's mostly football's fault, but there we go. 35 as we debut Italy. Hype package later on just documenting the feud between Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. This is a 45. Now my reason for this is, we touched it earlier about what Sami Callihan said. Obviously Phoenix and Pentagon have both been with Impact, so Impact in reality would have archive footage that they could show. So that's what I'm kind of playing in here. I kind of would like an idea with... I'm toying with, do we bring a championship in for like an upper mid card, so like either former legends or whatever the hell they called it. They changed it that many times. And obviously in place of it would be Intercontinental, US and TNT. So I'm still thinking about it, but at the moment we'll keep it with just the X Division and the Worlds in terms of men's championships. Then a decent matchup is Enzo and Big Kaz defeated the Desi Hit Squad in 6:53 when Big Kaz pinned Rush Singh with the Bada Boom Shakalaka, a 42 here. Can I just say, by the way, that's a really good performance in comparison by Rohit Raju. He's actually surprised me. I thought he would maybe struggle, but no, he's been very good. As I say, someone I didn't know a lot about. I'd seen he was with Impact, because I hadn't watched Impact for a good couple of years, and yeah, pleasantly surprised. But a 42 here, we're giving Enzo and Kaz the victory. After the matchup, they are beaten down by Violent by Design, as Ken Shamrock and Joe Doring come down and just annihilate. So that feud will continue, but it's another beatdown as Enzo and Big Kaz are carried to the back. 47. This leads to a matchup between the Good Brothers and Violent by Design, and in a good matchup, Violent by Design pick up the win. This time it's Eric Young teaming with Joe Doring in 12:27 over Gallows and Anderson, when Doring pinned Doc Gallows with a Revolution Bomb, followed interference by Ken Shamrock. So there's a few things I want to cover here. The 50 is really good. Look at the improvement in Joe Doring's in-ring performance. This guy was not over, and we've managed to get him over as an older statesman. So I'm really happy with that, and all four guys were really competitive there. I don't have the greatest memory because I've booked that many shows, but I don't know if Doring and Young had the tag team specialist bonus beforehand. If they haven't, that's nice to see that pop up. If they have, just ignore what I said there. And we finish the show with a 3-on-2 beatdown as Shamrock joins in and the Good Brothers take a beating. So a 53, Ken Shamrock underperformed, and we end the show with Violent by Design standing tall. 52, we increase our popularity in all 34 regions that we broadcast Impact in. And obviously the negative was production and music. Well, we did make a good profit last month. I still don't feel it's enough to put the money in, and until that's like 23 or whatever, it's less regions we're gaining pop in. Until it fixes, I'm not going to touch it. So just to make people aware of that. Overall, I'm happy with it. We've managed to progress 2 or 3 stories. You can clearly see there's a lot of people not on the show, because obviously they will be in the next couple of sets of tapings as we prepare the card for Victory Road. So as always, thank you for tuning in. What I would like to say is, if you are watching, let me know if you prefer booking the weekly shows, or how you felt about the block taping booking. Because the second time I've had to deal with it, I did do it in the old WWF save before the backstage went mental. I don't know if I like it. The feature's great, but I just don't know if it suits my booking style. That's really the only way, because I like progressing through quickly, rather than just sitting in June the 1st for a while. So let me know how you found it, and yeah, hopefully you join us for that next episode coming up in a few days' time. But as always, thank you for tuning in. Good day and good night, as Kenny Omega would say. See you soon. Bye bye.